What's up, y'all? DJ Gary, and I'm back again. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left y'all without a dope video for y'all to watch or to listen to. So, I want to get into this Sly Stone um, the Sly Stone documentary that I just watched. It was released. Uh, it first was released as Sundance Film Festival, January 2025, and then it became national uh, around February 13th, 2025. This was released on Hulu, Disney. It was released actually about a month and 2 days before Sly Stone passed away, actually. So that's interesting. I do remember there was rumblings of this documentary maybe a decade ago, maybe, yeah, like a decade ago, I believe. And then there was like talks of a movie of Sly and Family Stone being made. I do remember that. That was a while back. And then about a couple of years ago, Sly Stone released his autobiography. Um, Maybe that was last year, a couple of years ago. I can't remember, but I bought it from my dad. We're fans of music, all the oldies and stuff. I already made a video on how I got introduced to Sly Stone music and all that. Y'all could go back, check that video out. So I just want to get into this real quick. I don't want to spoil it for anybody else who hasn't seen it, but I definitely say this is a must-watch documentary. Uh, this really showcases Sly Stone being a genius at his peak, but also battling demons within that genius portal, right? Um, Sly Stone had at a point had the world eating out of the palm of his hands. He was um, you know really up there. He could have been a politician if he wanted to. He was that good at what he did, and also charismatic, and he ruled the music world. Not only he ruled the music world, he ruled just uh, everybody loved him. But there was things that people kind of like was trying to like make a play on him, and he was like questioning it. And I think at a certain point, Sly got paranoid, and he just, I think somebody got in his ear and was like, "Hey, man, take this, and this will calm you." And after that, it went where it went. So, um, Sly Stone as a genius. I didn't know how. I knew he was a DJ at the beginning of his career, but I didn't. And a producer, because I do remember he produced well, Billy Preston's first album, and I was really shocked at some of the songs he had a hand in that hippie psychedelic era. Um, I didn't realize he really had his he really was really on his chops, and just a real genius. I'm kind of shocked I didn't see Stevie Wonder in this documentary, because I feel like Sly and Stevie complemented each other when it came to doing genius records. I always say, to me, Music of My Mind was kind of like you could tell Sly was influenced on him right there. And I always say, Talking Book as well, like Maybe Your Baby, Tuesday Heartbreak. Like, to me, like those were always like Sly Stone vibes. I always thought Maybe Your Baby was, when I first saw Money Talks, I always thought Maybe Your Baby was Sly Stone, so, but it was a Stevie Wonder record. So this is a cool documentary. Sly, the beginning of his life, he always had a thing, I guess, for racial harmony. And the beginnings of it, they pretty much established what he was really head on about, and how he wanted uh, acceptance of his friends who didn't look like him, who were not of his color. And I and he fought tooth and nail. And it's interesting, when I was watching this documentary, the thing that popped in my head was Michael Jackson's Black or White. Like that just randomly popped in my head when I was watching it. And I was like, oh, okay, I could see where Michael Jackson would record a song Black or White and put it out. Like, I could see the Sly Stones, you know, the Sly Family Stone influence on that song. Now that I'm looking at it, now that I'm listening to it and I'm putting the puzzles together, I'm like, oh, okay, this is where it was at. But that's neither here or there, right? Uh, Sly Stone was very influential, uh, and I think people don't give him enough respect. Like, he was really playing with the drum programming early. Like, he was really early with that. Multi instrumentalist, you could play about every instrument. So it wasn't like you know, needed people. He wanted people. They touch on, the Larry Graham and Sly situation. They don't go in depth with it. I would recommend get his autobiography, and you'll learn a little bit more about Sly and Larry's feud, and that whole thing. There was some paranoia in that, and you know the whole henchman thing. That's a story. That's a different story. But it really shows that Sly really didn't value life until really towards a couple towards like the few years towards the end of his life, maybe a couple of years towards the end of his life, like he began to really value life, and you could kind of see it in his face that he just wanted to live naturally, and you know critics tore him up about there's a riot going on, and it's interesting because that's supposed to be Sly's like revolutionary album, right? And but the critics couldn't get it. Only certain people got it. I guess that's what happens when you are a genius, right? Um, like I said, I don't want to go way in depth with it. You guys, I recommend go watch the documentary. If you got Hulu, you could get try get like a free trial, or maybe get a subscription for like 199. Maybe you buy something like off of Amazon, and you'll get like a Hulu thing, maybe. Because really, like, I really wasn't. I was trying to get rid of this Hulu and get my money back, but I was like, let me check this Sly documentary out. You know, come to the people, let them know, hey, watch this. If you're not a fan uh, of like Sly Stone or that whole psychedelic funk stuff, uh, even if you're not a fan, I think you would enjoy it because it's so raw, and you could see like the blackness in it. You could see how and also I could see where Sly Stone, he kind of like pioneered. As funny as this sound, he pioneered the TikTok. Like there's a point in the documentary where I was like, oh, he pioneered the TikTok. He was like social media before social media, right? Yeah. So anyway, check that out. Don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe. Please share this video. Let somebody know that I'm reviewing this. Go watch it. I don't want to give all the details out because it's important that you watch it and you'll appreciate it. It's really something that even if you're a hip hop fan, like you should really like check this out. And there's some familiar faces in this documentary. Definitely check it out. All right, I'm out. Peace until the next episode of DJ Gary.